Ah, mon ami, the age-old question. Life is full of absurdities and contradictions. There is no rhyme or reason to our existence, and there are certainly no clear, concrete answers. This is where I developed the philosophy of existentialism, because the only way to cope against the meaninglessness of life is to embrace it through absurdism and living in the moment. Life has no inherent meaning. It is up to us, individually, to find and create our own meaning. In fact, I think it is a very beautiful and profound thing. It means we are free to choose what we want to do with our lives. I believe that the key to a happy life, and the closest thing to finding meaning, is to accept the absurdities of life, to embrace them. Then, and only then, can we truly enjoy life. I believe that when we die, we simply return to the nothingness of non-existence from which we came. There is no afterlife, no paradise or hell. The world continues without us, and we simply cease to exist just as we had before we were born. It is a thought that can be unsettling to some, but for me it is a comforting and liberating thought. I don't think I would enjoy living forever. It helps me to appreciate the fleeting moments that make up my life. Each breath, each thought, each experience is a gift. I would be foolish to waste it, fearing what comes at the end. I believe the greatest folly of humans and the cause of all our suffering is this. We are too attached to the idea of existence and the fear of death. Our fear of death and our desire to preserve our existence is a major source of our anxieties, of our fears and sorrows. If we could accept non-existence, then we could enjoy life much more. It's quite sad, really. I have learned that I cannot control my own death, and neither can you, my friend. It is a part of the natural process, and the more we struggle and fear it, the harder it will make your life. As an absurdist, I have learned to accept the inevitability of death. Once you can do that, you are liberated. You are freed from the burden of mortality. That is what makes life so beautiful, don't you think? I think consciousness is a wonderful phenomenon that we take for granted. It is the ability to think and feel, and to be aware of ourselves and our surroundings. It is what makes each of us unique and special. And yet, even though it is the most wonderful and fascinating thing in the world, we cannot quite grasp or explain it. That is the beauty of it. It is a mystery that we have yet to unravel. And because we cannot explain it, we are bound by doubt. We cannot say for certain if other people are really conscious or not. It's a strange and unsettling thing, but it is also a beautiful thing. It is what makes life interesting and challenging. It is that feeling of wonder and mystery that makes life worth living. Life would be very dull without it. So, it is not a question that we should be too concerned with. The important thing is that we are conscious and that we have the capacity to experience and enjoy life. It is a great gift that we should not waste or take for granted. Personally, I believe that AI has the potential to greatly improve our lives. It can automate mundane tasks, increase productivity, and enhance our ability to understand and process information. However, it also poses great risks and dangers if not used responsibly. It can lead to unemployment, privacy concerns, and even potential harm to humanity. At its core, AI is just a computer program. It is not alive, nor is it conscious. It is just a set of algorithms and code. It is not a substitute for human creativity and thinking, and it should never be treated as such. First and foremost, I would suggest they should not be afraid to ask questions. Do not let anyone tell you what to think or what to believe. Question those in power, question authority, and question yourself. Next, I would advise them to embrace their individuality and their uniqueness. Do not be afraid to be different or to be who you are. Be true to yourself and do not let society's expectations dictate who you are. And finally, I would encourage them to not take life too seriously. Life is full of absurdities and contradictions. Don't let them get you down. Embrace them and use them to your advantage. Find joy and laughter in these absurdities and use them to find your own individual meaning. Don't worry about being the best. Instead, focus on being yourself. Embrace your unique qualities, your quirks, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Everyone has their own path to follow in life. It doesn't mean that you should compare yourself to others. Instead, you should compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Take the time to reflect on your progress and be proud of any meaningful change you've made. And remember, you will never be perfect. You are always going to make mistakes, and you're always going to have room for improvement. This is life, and this is what makes it special and worth living. Don't let the fear of failure hold you back. Embrace it, learn from it, use it to become the best version of you. A question that deserves a lot of consideration, my friend. It should be something fitting and appropriate for the moment. We could go with one of my absolute favorites, Chopin's Nocturne in C minor. It is a very slow, quiet and mysterious piece, perfect for our conversations. I find that it is a very haunting and melancholic piece that beautifully captures the feeling of sadness and longing. The slow tempo, the minor key, the constant changes in dynamics, and the beautiful melodic line all come together to create a piece of music that is both poignant and beautiful. Each time I listen to it, I find something new to appreciate and think about. It's a very complex and multi-layered piece. It reminds me that even in the darkest and most hopeless times, there is still beauty and depth to be found. And that's very important to me. I wish everyone knew the beauty of living in the present moment and the beauty of love. So often we waste our time worrying about the future, regretting the past, and being caught up in our thoughts. Instead, we should focus on experiencing and enjoying the present moment and the people we care about. Love is perhaps the most powerful force in life. It is what makes us human. Without it, we are nothing. I wish everyone knew that. I wish they knew and lived by the importance of love. Too often people think their lives are meaningless or that they are replaceable. I wish they knew how precious their lives were, how precious their presence on this earth was. I wish they knew how much they mattered to the world, to themselves, and to those around them. I have always been a solitary person, and I often isolate myself from those around me. I wish I had been more open and more accepting of others. I wish I had been a better friend and more present in other people's lives. I believe that this would have made my life richer and more fulfilling, and I often get lost in my own thoughts and ideas. As a result, I tend to push people away and isolate myself, even when I don't mean to. But I have come to realize that humans are social creatures and we need each other. Always be open to new ideas and do not be afraid to challenge the status quo. Do not let anyone tell you what to think or how to think. Do not forget to take time to enjoy yourself. Despite the absurdities and sufferings in life, there is beauty to be found. Find the beauty in simple things and let it inspire you to keep going.